And so if you set goals, you will achieve them. You don't know how they're going to come about, but they will come true if you're concentrating and doing the things that move you in that direction. Does that make sense? For things to change, you have to change. For things to change, you have to change. And the second part of that is for things to get better, you have to become better. Lots of times we'll look at situations and we'll look at people and we'll say, you know what, they just got lucky. You know, we grew up in the same neighborhood, but they just happened to get lucky at that point in time. Well, we have hundreds of opportunities every day, but a lot of us just go right past them because we're not in tune. But if you become more knowledgeable, if you become a different person, then you're going to get different results. Because you're sitting in this classroom right now, you're at this point listening to me talk based on all of your decisions, that they're doing something that is detrimental or wrong. They just know how you think before you do. They know how to pull the money out more than you are willing to keep it. Because if money was so important to us, we'd walk around with just gobs of money in our pocket and we would never spend it. We'd just be hoarding money. But for the most part, we want the stuff that money buys and the services that money buys rather than the money itself, right? Because if not, we just be walking around with this. If we really love money, we wouldn't go buy a Coke, we wouldn't go buy a Pepsi-Cola, we wouldn't go buy a car, we'd just be, holding on to the money. The money is really not a big deal. It's just your medium to getting what you need. Does that make sense to you guys? Okay. So, one of the things that I like to talk about is the way that you can train your mind is learn not to spend the whole dollar. This is what we teach kids. When you get $1, I don't want you to spend the whole dollar. I want you to keep some of it. And they're like, well, people tell me, well, it's only $1 and it's only a kid. I said, well, if I can teach them not to spend the whole dollar when they're young, when they get to be of age and start earning money, they're not going to spend the whole $100. They're not going to spend the whole $1,000. They're not going to spend the whole $10,000 or the whole $100,000. Because if you start spending the entire dollar when you're young, when you get a $100,000 contract or you win the lottery or whatever, you're going to spend the $100,000 or the $1 million. It's just the same mindset. It's just different amounts of money. Is that making sense to you all?
Thank you, God.
When you go and buy something, you have to look at the real value of what you're purchasing. So, lots of times when people go purchase a car, they will look at it like this. What is my, what? When you're purchasing a car, what are you mainly looking for? That monthly payment, very fresh. So most people say, I want to get my monthly payment down to this. So what that monthly payment is $300 a month. You're like, well, based on the number of heads I'm cutting, whatever, I can afford that. But what you really have to think about is how many months are they requiring you to pay the $300? Is it for 36 months, which is 3 years? Is it for 24 months, which is 2 years? Or is it for 96 months? Or is it for, how many months is it for? Is it for 60 months? So if you're paying $300 for 60 months, which is 5 years, you're paying a lot more if you're paying $300 for 36 months, which is 3 years. And so they have you thinking monthly payment. What they're thinking about is how much are we going to eventually get for this particular car over a time period, plus interest. Okay? So you got to think more strategically there. Michelle, you want to